Hello, my name is Michael Dwyer, and I'm with Rochester Writers. Once again, Rochester Writers and the Rochester Hills Public Library have teamed up to host the annual Rochester Author Fair, now in its fifth year. We're hosting 20 authors in person at the library in downtown Rochester on Saturday, November 25th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. These short videos offer you a chance to meet each of the 20 authors. And right now we're meeting Pria Dee. Hey, Priya, how are you?
Good. How are you, Mike?
Better and better. Thank you so much for joining us as one of the 20 authors at the fifth annual author fair. I can't believe we're doing it for 5 years now. And this is your first time, right?
Right, and I'm very excited to be there.
Well, we're excited to have you. But for those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about Priya and how you became an author.
So, I actually have been writing for a long time since my kids were much younger, and I took a course on children's literature writing. I want to say back in 2007, 2008. And then I actually wrote in a different genre before I started developing my children's books work. So I actually have published two novels under a different pen name. And in 2017, I started working on the children's books. During the pandemic, I published several. So between 2021 and this year, I have published about 8 books. I have a ninth one coming out next year. And I have my latest one here. Don't know if you guys can see it. This is, well, it's a bit blurry. This is the third one in a series about Billy and Molly. And this one's called Molly and the Picture Day. And the first book was about Billy. Billy makes cookies. The second one was Molly and the Last Dance Shoes. So this is the third one in the series. Very excited. I actually got the first copy today, and you're some of the first people to see it.
Well, that's wonderful. And they're all children's picture books. They're probably quick reads. What ages would be reading those?
So some of the books are for very young ages, like 2 to 5. Others span all the way from possibly 4 to 10. A couple of my books are very diverse in the sense that they talk about my own Indian culture and heritage. So one of the books, which has recently been a finalist for an award, is actually set in India. It's set during a pandemic-like situation where a little boy is having to take care of his mother when she falls sick. And second one is set based on a cultural program during a festival, also of Indian origin, where a little girl tries to find a piece of her costume before a performance, and that kind of showcases the different pieces of clothing that go with Indian cultures, different types of food, and so forth. So those two are for older readers.
Okay. And now writing for children, and in particular, since you have a multiple cultural background, would American kids be just as interested as Indian kids with your books? I know that you're probably writing them in English and they're published here in America, but um, is there any cultural differences with what is attractive to a young reader?
So yes, I've had feedback from both librarians and educators that children are interested in learning about children from other cultures. So especially because they are in school with them, they see them out and about, they play with them, various sports. So the knowing what makes them different is part of the learning experience for all American kids, whether it's because of the foods they eat or the festivals or customs that they have. Things like that are a learning experience. It teaches about the geography and also some of the ways that kids grow up differently in different countries than here.
So, would some of your stories about typical things that happen to an American kid at an American school, you think that would be of interest to children back in India?
Of course, yes. I have a nephew of my own who's about 6, and he's always enthusiastic to hear, what happens when Billy makes cookies, or what happens when Molly lost her shoes, or what happens with Monster Did It, which is one of my other very popular books, which especially with grandparents who I think can relate to a child blaming everything on a non-existent monster.
Well, that's fascinating, and thank you for sharing that. It's kind of a learning experience for me to understand young readers, and especially if they're from different countries. So you're going to have what'd you say, 8 books or more
Yes,
at the writers at the
yes,
author fair?
yes. I'll have 8 children's books, and I may bring a couple of my um, books under my different pen name. This is one of them. It's called Hoyden and the Rake. It's a Regency age young adult romance book, and I might have a couple of those to show as well.
Sounds great. Well, we look forward to seeing you, meeting you, checking out your books, and participating with the other 20 authors at the Rochester Author Fair, the fifth annual, on November 25th. We'll see you there.
See you there. Thank you so much.